For this technique, I always want to start with an injury, obviously. And in this case, I'm going to be driving my body weight in, getting that penetration, and kneeing him into the groin as hard as I can, and lifting upwards. And I'm going to get the force necessary for that by moving my body in, by penetrating toward him. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to penetrate and knee to the groin. And this is going to crush the testicles, knock the wind out of them, get the spinal reflex right here, which is very important for the next strike I want to do, because the next strike I want to do is to hit him in the head with the planet. And I'm going to get that done by reaching down here and just grabbing a hold of the man's ankle. And the idea is that I'm just going to lift straight up, using my legs to lift, but I'm not going to be lifting most of his body weight because of the groin reaction here. He's going to be pitched essentially forward, just like this. So when this leg starts to lift, he's going to rotate forward and his face is going to go into the concrete, and that's the whole idea. So this has nothing to do with strength. It has everything to do with the preconditions that I've set up. He's an injured man. He's helpless. I can do whatever I want to him. And then also his balance is now essentially forward. As long as I lift with my legs, I won't have to lift his weight very far, just a couple inches, and he'll begin to topple forward. Because all I really want to do here is make him fall over. I'm not trying to pick him up. So I've penetrated all the way through to here and injured him. I'm going to reach down and grab that ankle, get my elbows in and down, and I'm going to lift once again with my legs. I'm going to use my thighs, just straight up, and pivot over the top. So I'm going to pivot all the way over into a forward stance here. Now, that's going to pitch him forward onto his face and head if I'm lucky. If I'm unlucky, he puts his hands out, but then I'm still lucky because he's going to probably sprain or break his wrists. So it's all the same to me, it's injury. Now from here, I've got a hold of the back of the ankle, and I've got the toe of his boot sticking out here on my hip, and I want to roll him over. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pivot to get the leg to rotate, and that's going to cause the man to flop all the way over. Once again, this is done with body weight and my legs, rather than me trying to use my arms. If he weighs more than me, using my arms, I'm not going to be able to get it done because I won't be strong enough. But using my legs, using my body rotation, using my weight is going to get it done every time. So now I've got the man rolled over, and we're going to get to what I really want to do, which is I want to break his arm. And there's the arm. He's injured for me. He can't see me. He has no idea what's going on at this point from the amount of trauma I've put into him. I'm free to break his arm at will. I'm going to step up, and I'm going to reach down and get a hold of his wrist, grab a hold with the other hand, and once again, I'm just grabbing with my hands a natural grip, mirror image, just like this, nothing fancy at all. I keep his palm down, that way I know the back of his elbow is facing up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up, and I'm going to break this arm by simply dropping into a knee drop. So I'm going to follow the motion all the way through to here. This is how I'm going to end up, except his arm will be bent backwards and around. This is a base leverage 1 break of the arm, which is hyperextension that we covered in the joint breaking series. Now, the thing about this though, once again, is yes, this is a joint break, but the thing that powers joint breaks is the same thing that powers striking. And that is, if I sit here and pull on this with my strength, I have to be strong enough to be able to tear a man's elbow out of the socket essentially backwards. And I'll be frank with you, I'm not that strong. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use my body weight. Because if you weigh at least 100 pounds, you can get this job done with your body weight. So I set my knee here, and now I'm going to go straight down into a knee drop while I pull up on the wrist right here to snap that elbow. Be very careful when you're practicing this with your workout partner. This sort of thing right here, it's a very simple thing to tear the elbow, especially when you have it at the pathological limit where it can't bend any further from here. Any more force that I apply into here becomes pathological and starts to tear the joint out. So this isn't something that you want to test with your partner. This isn't something where you want to ask your partner, are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? Because it's very dangerous. And from this point forward, all that happens is injury. So take it nice and easy, set it up, realize that you're going to drop your weight straight down into a knee drop and bring your spine erect at the same time. And then if you want to, you can follow through the motion by letting go of the arm and following through with the motion to get the idea of what you're doing, because you'll end up in this position here. Once you're done with the guy, if you think he needs any more trauma, give it to him. If not, you're done and you're out of here.